Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we're about to decode the unique sensory and scientific profile of an incredibly fascinating beverage based on our source materials. If you're a tea lover, or honestly, if you're just fascinated by the science of flavor, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we are exploring the roasted magic of Hojicha. So, let's kick things off with a bit of a riddle. What on earth does a relaxing cup of green tea have in common with, of all things, grilled beef? Or even roasted barley for that matter? I know it sounds like a weird joke, but the answer actually lies in a very specific chemical reaction that completely transforms the sensory experience of the tea. To figure that out, here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. The magic of Hojicha. 2. A brief roasted history. 3. The science of pyrazines. 4. Health benefits and drawbacks. And 5. Brewing the perfect cup. All right, section 1, the magic of Hojicha. Let's look at exactly what makes it so unique. Now, if you see a brown tea leaf, your brain probably immediately jumps to black tea, right? But as our sources point out, while both black tea and Hojicha yield brown leaves from the exact same Camellia sinensis plant, they get there through completely different journeys. Black tea turns brown naturally through a process of oxidation or fermentation. Hojicha, on the other hand, is literally just green tea like sencha or bancha that has been blasted with high-temperature roasting. It's the heat, not the air, that changes its chemical structure and gives it that beautiful, rich amber color. And because of that intense roasting process, the tea drops a lot of its natural astringency and bitterness. Instead, you're hit with what our sources perfectly describe as a comforting campfire aroma that puts the mind at ease. It is incredibly cozy. It's the kind of drink that just instantly warms you up on a chilly evening and feels wonderfully gentle on the palate. Moving along to section 2, a brief roasted history, let's look at where this all started. This timeline is honestly a story of incredible resourcefulness. Back during the Edo period in Kyoto, high-quality green tea was super expensive, mostly just reserved for the elite. Commoners had to make do with lower quality, older tea leaves, which, well, they didn't taste great on their own. So they started roasting them. This clever little trick masked the inferior flavor and created a wonderfully fragrant, everyday drink. Moving into the Meiji era, tea manufacturing modernized, which made Hojicha a commercial staple. And today, the idea has spread like wildfire. It's not just a traditional drink anymore. It's a massive global phenomenon. It uses a premium ingredient in cafes, lattes, ice creams, and desserts all over the world. Up next, section 3, the science of pyrazines. This is all about the chemistry of that amazing aroma. Okay, remember our riddle about the grilled beef? The answer is pyrazine. When the amino acids and sugars that are naturally hanging out in green tea leaves get exposed to high heat during roasting, they undergo a reaction that creates pyrazines. These are aromatic organic compounds, and our sources note that these are the exact same chemical compounds responsible for the mouth-watering scent of grilled beef or that comforting smell of roasted barley tea. That savory, toasty, deeply satisfying aroma. That is pure pyrazine at work. But here's the kicker. Pyrazines do way more than just smell good. They actually have scientifically backed physiological effects. Inhaling the aroma of Hojicha literally relaxes the brain. It helps improve focus, and it even boosts blood circulation. This makes Hojicha an incredibly functional beverage. It's not just a tasty drink, it's practically a stress relief tool that you can brew in a favorite mug.
Which brings us to section 4, health benefits and drawbacks. Let's weigh the pros and cons.
First up, we need to address a really common rumor. You'll often hear people, or flashy marketing campaigns, claim that because Hojicha is roasted, it contains absolutely zero caffeine. But is it really totally caffeine-free? Time for a reality check based strictly on our sources. Actually, scratch that zero caffeine idea. Hojicha is low caffeine, but it is not caffeine-free. While the high heat of roasting definitely drops the caffeine levels significantly, and the mature leaves often used naturally contain less caffeine than young buds, it definitely still retains some. Because of this, our sources explicitly point out that pregnant individuals, or really anyone who is highly sensitive to caffeine, should still practice moderation. It is a gentle tea for sure, but it still has a tiny little kick to it.
When we compare the overall pros and cons, the picture gets very clear. On the pro side, because of the low caffeine and the reduced tannins from roasting, it is wonderfully gentle and stomach-friendly. It still retains some antioxidants, and it has a fantastic warming effect on the body. But here's a really crucial drawback. That high heat roasting that gives Hojicha all its magic, it completely destroys the vitamin C typically found in green tea. So if you're drinking tea specifically to get your vitamin C, you're going to want to look elsewhere. On top of that, that amazing roasted aroma degrades pretty fast. Hojicha has a short shelf life for peak flavor, so once you open a bag, enjoy it quickly.
Finally, Section 5, Brewing the Perfect Cup, and how you can best enjoy it at home.
What's really interesting here is that our two sources actually conflict slightly on the ideal brewing temperature, which is awesome because it gives us options. The Chakatu source advocates for the easy way, literally just use boiling water straight from the kettle. Since the leaves are already heavily roasted, you don't have to worry about cooling the water down like you do with delicate green teas. However, the Hojicha source suggests a flavor-optimized way, which is brewing at 80 degrees Celsius. This slightly cooler temperature ensures you pull out the absolute sweetest, smoothest flavor while minimizing any residual bitterness. Honestly, try both and see which one your palate prefers. And because Hojicha pairs so beautifully with dairy, you absolutely have to try making a DIY Hojicha latte. It's incredibly simple. Step 1, boil 200 milliliters of milk, or soy milk if you prefer, with a generous 3 tablespoons of Hojicha leaves in a small saucepan. Step 2, once you see bubbles appear, turn that heat down and simmer it slowly for 2 to 3 minutes. Step 3, just strain out the leaves and sweeten it with sugar or maple syrup to taste. Not only do you get a delicious cafe-quality latte, but our sources emphasize that the process itself fills your entire room with a remarkably soothing, aromatic blend of milk and roasted tea. It's literally pure aromatherapy right in your kitchen. Before we go, I want to leave you with one final fantastic tip directly from the source material. You can actually make your own Hojicha at home. If you have old Sencha or Bancha green tea leaves just sitting in the back of your cupboard that have gone a bit stale and lost their fresh flavor, do not throw them away. You can use an earthen roaster or a hojiki to gently roast those leaves over heat. You'll rescue the tea, create your own custom roasted batch, and experience that incredible, freshly roasted pyrazine aroma for yourself. It's amazing to think about, right? From a humble, thrifty way to salvage old tea leaves in Kyoto, to a scientifically backed relaxation tool, and now a modern dessert sensation, Hojicha is truly a masterpiece of sensory science. So I leave you with this. Whether you steep it simply in a traditional teapot or simmer it into a rich, creamy latte, how are you going to experience the roasted warmth of Hojicha today? Go dig through your tea cabinet right now and ask yourself, what other culinary magic is just hiding in your pantry waiting for a little heat? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy brewing.